Hey, how are you doing? In this quick video, we're just going to run through some basic upper body stretches that you can do at home. And for all stretches, I'd recommend a minimum of 30 seconds on each side, and you can do these multiple times throughout the day too. So the first one that you can see me doing here is just a simple rear delt stretch. So if you have a bit of a tight upper back, or maybe your shoulders are a little bit tight, you can do this one super easily as I'm demonstrating there. All you need to focus on is bringing the arm across the body and pulling it into the chest with your other arm, just as I'm doing right there. Now, it's an important point that when you are doing this stretch, the arm which you are stretching itself is totally relaxed, and the arm which is supporting the arm is the one that's pulling it in, okay? So the arm which is across your chest should be completely relaxed, and that's going to allow the muscles to just simply relax into the movement and allow you to get a full stretch from this. Now, this is really important if you have quite a tight upper back, and is one of the key areas that people need a lot of focus on, specifically women, both strengthening and also loosening off the muscles as well. So the next stretch that we're going to go into is a very basic tricep stretch, okay? So the back of the arm. And so with this one, what you need to do is just like I demonstrated there, simply push your hand up into the sky and then bring it down so that your hand is touching your spine, and then pull in nice and tight on the elbow. But you need to make sure that when you're doing this stretch that you keep your head and chest up. If you start leaning down, you're going to detract from the stretch as well. And if you have quite a tight back, all right, you might find that this one is sort of stretching near the armpit as well. That's absolutely fine, and it's pretty normal. You might even feel the pull on the side of your rib cage running down your hip too, depending on where you're most tight, okay? So it hits a few different muscle groups, which is really useful. So the next one that we're going to go on to is a basic chest stretch, and here you can see I'm using the rack, but you could put your hand on the wall like we do in sessions and simply stretch out the chest. Okay, it's important that the arm is parallel with the ground, so not too high, not too low. And you might also feel this in the upper arm, so in the bicep area, or perhaps even in your forearm as well. Now, if you are going to do this against the wall, one thing I'd 100% recommend is that your palm is flat on the wall and your fingers are facing away from your body, so behind your body, okay? You don't want to have your fingers facing the other way, otherwise it's going to change the stretch and remove some of the benefit from it. Now, this one for both men and women is really important, especially if you have that natural slouch forward posture, which can commonly come from using your phone a lot, doing a lot of driving or a lot of desk work as well. So you can do this one very regularly throughout the day, and it's really going to help open up that rib cage and help your mobility. The next one that I'm doing here is an upper back and lat stretch. So you can see what I did is I just grabbed onto the rack, but you could do this on a door frame or any solid surface. And once I've grabbed onto it, what I'm doing is I'm basically forcing my head down and through, keeping the arm nice and straight and relaxing my body into that position. When you're doing these stretches, it's really important that you relax everything else in your body apart from the limb which is being stretched itself. It's super important. And as you can see there, I'm just giving myself a little shake out and just relaxing into the movement. And just like I mentioned before, you can hold these stretches for 30 plus seconds. And again, you can do this multiple times throughout the day. So this one really helps stretch out the back, especially if you have really tight shoulders. So if you're limited with your overhead press, perhaps when we say, arm to ear, and you're struggling to bring your arm to your ear, and maybe your arm is just slightly in front of your head, then this will help build that range of motion and get that good strength. So the next thing we're going to do, super basic, just a neck stretch. You can do this one seated or standing, and all you're doing is keeping your body nice and relaxed, hands in a neutral position, and just flexing the neck down towards the chest, bringing your chin to the chest. And then as you can see here from the side, as we come up, we bring the chin to the ceiling and lightly arch backwards, which is very similar to the next movement, which we're going to be doing in a second. So this next movement, it's basically a bit of an extended version of what you're doing, but this also works the spine, specifically around the rib cage. So if you have a naturally rounded forward posture, or if you have a bit of a rounded upper back, this is really going to help loosen that off, and you can do this very regularly throughout the day. So you can see I'm rounding further back, getting a little arch in my spine, and then rounding forward and getting that spine nice and loose as we go through as well, which is really going to help loosen off that spine, get you feeling fresh and more mobile and feeling better throughout the day too.